Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Now, yesterday I went on a little road trip a couple hours away and went to a couple different local fish stores. I went to a pond store, which really didn't have too much. I'll still show a little bit of that store. And then I went to a reef only store and then a large aquarium store. And then I also went to another local pet store that's pretty far away, but I still wanted to check it out. And today, not only am I going to show you everything I got, which I spent about $200, I would say. I got a good selection of fish and coral, so we will get to that in a minute. But first I want to go ahead and show you a little bit of some of the stores I went to. I will say by far the pet store was the coolest because I've been to some of the other stores before, so they weren't as shocking as this one. But I will say the pet store is awesome. They had this like tortoise like walking around. It was a little dirty, a little messy, but overall they had a huge selection of fish, like so many fish, so many tanks. It was crazy. So without further ado, let's check that out and then I'll meet you back here and I'll show you the fish we got. So here's a quick sneak peek of that pond store. It was dope, but they really didn't have that much, I think because it's just not quite pond season yet. This is the awesome local pet store. So right when you walk in, there's this huge waterfall coming from the ceiling, tons of koi fish in this man-made above ground koi pond, like crazy amounts of koi fish. It was 3 for $40 or $15.99 each. They were awesome. Just so many koi. There was pothos dripping from the ceiling, this whole waterfall thing, and then of course just tons and tons of tanks behind it. But this pond was so cool. Now, moving into the tanks, it was this really huge section. So we have saltwater kind of on the outside, moving into a ton of planted freshwater cubes. I'm sorry, this footage is vertical by the way. And then just really fish all the way down. So right here is some of the cichlids and more aggressive fish on this wall. And then as we turn around here, as you can see, planted tanks in the back, and then tons and tons of planted tanks. Community fish, beta sororities, guppies, mollies, platies, angelfish, everything. And then down at the end is some shrimp and some smaller fish. But these tanks, most of them were pretty clean. Some stuff here was, a little dirty. I mean, it is a local pet store, I didn't expect too much. But overall, I was extremely impressed. They had turtles, like it was pretty cool. Everything was run by a sponge filter and main sump filtration. But moving into saltwater, this was like their fish only setup. So it was basically just a whole bunch of, clownfish, damsels, stuff like that, nothing crazy. They had this awesome reef tank though, with all their corals. There was a gem tank in there, and then here were some frag tanks. They also had feeder fish back there. And then this little section, I'm not quite sure what was going on here. Here was some saltwater inverts, which was cool. And that was pretty much a wrap for the saltwater section. There wasn't that many saltwater fish. There was this huge tortoise though, just chilling, walking around the store. Not sure what the deal with that was. And then my favorite fish that I saw was this cute little cowfish, I believe they're called. He was awesome. I would love one of these for my tank, but unfortunately they are a little bit difficult to take care of. Okay, you saw the store. We are back here. I went to like 3 or 4 stores. I don't know, got a whole bunch of stuff. We need to start off with the obvious, which is the koi. Their bag got a little saggy, but I got 3 koi for $40. They're like 13 bucks a piece. So let's check these guys out. These guys are obviously going in the koi pond. But we have a nice little variety there. We've got an orangish yellow one. We have a yellowish white one. And there's also like iridescent one that has like a blue stripe down the back. You'll see these guys better in the pond. I'm going to go ahead and drop these in the pond and get them ready to acclimate because they do have to acclimate for quite a while. So I'm going to go ahead and drop these in. It's raining, so the pond is nice and full. But we're just going to set these guys in there. Hopefully they don't sink. And they're going to go ahead and acclimate. And then they'll be with all the other koi. So I'm gonna go ahead and give these guys time. Let's check out the other stuff and then we'll come back. Okay, while we're on the topic of freshwater, we'll do freshwater next. First off, right here is going to be 20 little feeder guppies. These are just basic guppies, great mosquito eating fish. These guys are gonna go in the front yard patio bull pond. You've seen it before. I'll go ahead and acclimate these guys in there. Next up is just 2 little Mickey Mouse platies. These aren't mine, they're for a friend. And then 6 little zebra danios. They're long fin and there's a couple different color variations. Once again, not mine though. And then the last freshwater fish I got was this Blackmore goldfish. He was like $12, but he's super cute. And he will be going in the 55-gallon kind of mixed community tank. There's tons of fish in there. There's like a parrot cichlid, there's koi. Everyone gets along. I promise, I know what I'm doing. This guy will hopefully be happy in there, and if he's not, I have tons of other places I can put him. Into saltwater now, I got 5 little turbo snails and 3 larger turbo snails. Just some cleanup crew for my saltwater tank. It's getting kind of dirty just because snails die off. So I needed to get a couple more snails to kind of ramp that population up. I also got a starfish right here. He's hard to see. There he is. This is a chocolate chip starfish, not reef safe. They will eat coral. So he's gonna be part of the cleanup crew that lives in the sump. So he won't actually be in the tank because he'll kill the whole tank. but he's gonna be in the sump. A little zoanthid coral right there. I don't even know what coral this is, but he said it was aggressive, so I got an aggressive coral. This right here is a big zoanthid rock, so it's a whole bunch of zoanthids. It was like 30 bucks. And then last but not least, I got a hammer coral right here. It's hard for you to see in the little cup. There it is, but it's a little hammer coral. I will show you all of these guys once they're in the tank opened up. So without further ado, I'm gonna start acclimating everything. You guys don't care about that because it's boring. I'll speed through acclimation for you guys, and I'll show you everything as soon as it's in its tank, in its habitat, whatever you want to call it. So I'll be back.
A few moments later.
In goes the starfish, the snails, and then we got the koi right here. Just gonna go ahead and dump all these right in, maybe. There they all go. Okay, so it's been a little bit. Here's the 55-gallon tank with the Blackmore. He does have some frayed fins, which could have just been from him getting picked on in the goldfish tank. But overall, he seems to be doing really well, eating nice, and he's super energetic. And this little breeder box cage is the Danios and those two platies that will be going to a friend, so we don't really need to worry about those. But that's really it. We didn't get too many new fish here, just the Blackmore goldfish, and hopefully he does good in this tank. He does have a little bit of healing to do, as I mentioned, but as long as nothing messes with him in this tank, it should be good. Usually parrot cichlids are pretty aggressive, but honestly, I haven't had any issues with him and any of the other smaller tetras in here, so he's really not as aggressive as I expected, which is good, but regardless, everything in here is doing really, really good. It's getting a little dark outside, so I had to sneak up on them, but if you faintly can see in there, there's our 24 feeder guppies that are in this little patio bowl right here. Guppies are fine for colder water fish. These are actually Gambusia guppies, which are basically mosquito eaters. That's another name they go by. They don't really eat mosquitoes, they eat the larva. They're really just a small live bear guppy. Sorry about the lighting though, it is dark. I did get everything placed in the saltwater tank. There's the new hammer coral back there. It's gonna replace the big Kenya tree that I had back there. At one point, I did have a smaller Kenya tree there, but I moved it back here. It's upset because I just moved it. Those little polyps right there are the new zoanthids, which of course you can't see them because there's really only a few. This big zoanthid colony, which is super washed out right now just from the lighting, is still opening up. It's just going to take a little bit more time. But there's that nice size colony, and then right here is that other Galaxia coral, or whatever it's called, which is also slowly opening. Of course, our turbo snails are just doing their thing. And then in the sump, it's hard for you to see them, but right there is our chocolate chip starfish. So everything in the saltwater tank seems to be doing really good. I'll go ahead and update you guys on the coral once they're fully opened. But that's pretty much it for the local fish store haul. I'll just go ahead and give you a quick update on everything in like a day or so, when everything has time to get used to their habitat and is all opened up. Just like that, it's the next day. I thought I would update you on the corals real quick. You've already seen them, but there's the zoas opened up a little bit more. There's that, whatever that other coral is. The hammer is back there, and the other little zoas are right back here. You already saw the guppies I put in here, so there's nothing to update in this patio pond. And in the 55-gallon, we have the Blackmore goldfish right there, still doing good. Made it through the night, super happy, and he's eating really good. And then of course, all the other fish over there, they all made it through the night. They're all doing good as well. But once again, they're getting rehomed today. Last but not least, we have the koi, and they're all doing good as well. They were a little skittish last night. As you can see, they're still getting used to, you know, their whole surroundings. But overall, they're doing good. It adds another layer of size to the pond, so we don't have just small fish and big fish. Now we have like a little medium one, or 3 medium ones, I should say. But the pond is doing awesome. I can't wait for it to warm up and all the plants to grow back in. So just like that, that is pretty much it for today's video. If you guys like this style of video and want to see me going to more local fish stores and checking stuff out like that, let me know in the comments below and go ahead and smash that like button. Once again, if you want to see some more fish store tours. But that's it for today's haul. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and goodbye.